So there's a lot that's been going on here in the city of Gloucester and the rest of Cape Ann. I feel like I say that every single time I'm on your guys' 1623 show, but it's true, especially as we're in a pandemic. And as of right now, you might see a few more students running around the city as they're on break. But once they come back to break, students of O'Malley and Gloucester High School will be getting the opportunity to get COVID tested. So the two schools are a part of the DESE's 6-week pooled testing pilot program, in which gives the school district an opportunity to get their students and staff tested as they try to figure out and kind of keep the statistical data going of who's contracting it, who's not, kind of helping them be able to navigate, especially with sports and school, to keep everyone safe. So looking at that, so it starts on Monday, February 22nd, and on the school district's webpage, they have kind of a site in which you can access to contact someone to get a consent form for parents and teachers, because you do need to give consent for your child, or if you're a staff member for yourself, to do it. So it is optional, but they're really trying to emphasize that this is a great way in which community collaboration can really help the district figure out the best ways to go forward into both this school year and the next. So it's a really interesting program, and they're partnering up with the Beauport Ambulance to staff the testing sites, and are in the process of hiring a pool testing coordinator, so that as they administer the test, that they can kind of get a streamlined process going, especially as those students are going to be flooding straight back into those schools and back into their classrooms, and we're going to have to navigate what it's going to look like. I know back in November we saw a spike after Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays, and so trying to see with this February break, is things going to be the same with a spike in numbers, or are they going to kind of stay consistently where they've been for the past couple of weeks?
Right. And we want to say that the numbers have been consistent and the city's managed it pretty well. And I think maybe with athletics especially, there was a slight spike, and the school system is just trying to nip things in the bud right now and stay on top of it. So good stuff there. Other thing, Taylor, lots of vaccination centers are popping up around the city.
Yeah, so we've already reported earlier, a couple of weeks ago, that the Elks Lodge is going to be a vaccination site. Then also there's an announcement yesterday that Connolly's Drugstore has partnered with Cruzport Gloucester to have another vaccination site. So for Elks, I know that there had been a lot of conversations. I know we've been getting a lot of phone calls about, how can people get a vaccine at the Elks? And in the first article that we did, it noted that they are doing that randomized selection process for patients of Beth Israel Lahey Hospital. And so for those people, you'd be called, you can't call them. But as of last week, the state had announced that they're actually limiting the number of vaccines going to hospitals to kind of focus on those mass distribution sites for vaccines. And so there's no more signups for the Elks Lodge vaccination site. They have 1,300 for 2 weeks, and those spots have been filled. There is a new vaccine site, though, over at Cruzport Gloucester that's being partnered with Connolly's Drugstore, and you can sign up online. So I know that the link to their website and that application process can be found on our website, and you can also go to both Connolly's Drugstore and Cruzport Gloucester to get that information. But the question as of right now, and that we're actively looking, is to see, the state just announced that 65 years and older can get a vaccine, and so what does that look like, and how can they go forward, especially as is transitioning to that next phase within the vaccine process.
And I can tell you that the Elks has set aside time through May to have a vaccination center there, and that Cruzport does plan on having a subsequent date for a second wave of vaccines too. The Pfizer vaccine, I believe, is there Saturday. So,
Corey, you just said that the Elks and Cruzport have set aside time for vaccinations, but at this point, the state is no longer sending more vaccines to these sites. Is that right?
They're booked, but I know that the place have also earmarked future dates and time to,
in case they get more vaccine. Okay,
great. And I know for the Elks,
Great.
that's at least into May.
Great.
And Cruzport does have a follow-up date for a second wave. So we'll see. I'm sure there's going to be more of this popping up around the city. Okay, great work as always, Taylor. We will see you next week.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Thanks. Take care of yourself.